tomates fraîches, mes amis.
Merci Audi, thank you Audi for your text and with a tribute with Penelope Rosemont too about your text.
I am reading it in English.
Yay!
Because Odie asked me this afternoon, so forgive me if I'm not smooth at reading it. Equality and solidarity with our sisters. 11 notes on surrealism and feminism. Surrealism is radically egalitarian. It is drawn from its strength, from the unconscious, from automatism, and dreams, all of which are within everyone's reach. These sources offer wonders, games, connections, sublimations that go in the direction of equality for all human beings. It is no coincidence that in visual creations, surrealism is passionate about popular art, that institutions generally call it as raw art or naive art, depending on the case, in particular for the art of mad people, and mediums of same as for the so-called primary tribal arts. Surrealism is inspired by all these arts. Sublime love is at the heart of poetry. It can bracket the social positions of beings. However, it does not alone erase inequalities or the dominations that society produced. 3, women's struggles for equality is as beautiful and as necessary for the dissolution of patriarchy, as well as the dissolution of the patriarchal family, and for the construction of an egalitarian society. 4, certain men can refuse, to a certain extent, the poisonous abject privileges which the capitalist patriarchy offers them to use against women. They can at certain times join the feminist struggle. However, this struggle nonetheless belongs to the women, to them alone, who engage in it. 5, like surrealism, feminism is universalist. Fight against male domination for equality in all points of view, against forced procreation, against the constraint of heterosexuality of women, and for the sisterhood, against housework, against violence against women, including women murders, pornographic industry, harassment, rape, and so forth. It is giving more chance to beauty, freedom, and love. Like feminism, surrealism tends to show solidarity with the struggle of the proletariat, indigenous people, and all exploited peoples, including those with youth, as well as all the oppressed. 7, everyone is free in their will to orient themselves within the limits of possibilities, with the social gender of their choice, and with an erotic, non-destructive orientation of their choice. The fact remains that from the surrealist and feminist point of view, it is not fundamentally a question of adjusting the social gender's division to make it more malleable, more flexible, more relocatable, and more open to mixtures and more trouble. This social division must be radically eliminated. 8, the removal of social divisions cannot be decreed nor performed. They require deep and long collective struggles for the equality of all. 9, the surrealist civilization will only be built on the foundations of an essentially egalitarian society. The development of this civilization also requires an abolition of alienated labor, leaving the field open to passionate creation in a humanity reconciled with itself as with nature, which does not define, but from which it emerges. 10, surrealism has always been for the suppression of the patriarchal family. However, neither Breton nor the surrealist women and men who developed our movement in the early days were feminists in the strict sense. They could not have been. The first wave of feminism was over, at least in Europe, when the second wave was far from being in sight. Even in 1949, the year I was born, the seminal book, The Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir, which had a great and salubrious impact, however, did not provide any perspective on the struggle for women. Totally conditioning gender equality on the basis of proletarian revolution, this book notes, with laudable force, although in a very prosaic manner, a particular misery imposed on women. Breton and his friends knew this misery very well and condemned it. 11. Since the birth of the second wave of feminism, everything has changed. Today, surrealism is feminist, or it is not, and it is up to surrealist women to say how it should be. And this is my little addition. Just earlier today, when Odie asked me to read this, I thought of Leonore Fini, Toyen, Claude Cahun, Leonora Carrington, Emilio Savaro, Mimi Parent, Ricky Ducornet, Penelope Rosemont, Odie Saban, Gada Kamal Ahmed, Gina Litherland, and many, many other women surrealists who we must remember are very much alive and active. Thank you.
Bravo! Merci Irene.